What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. As we get closer and closer to the trade deadline, we start to ask ourselves who will be selling and who will be buying. And a team that usually is in the seller's market because they're pretty terrible is the Pistons. But this year things are different. They're 18-18 on the season right now. Kind of makes you wonder, will the Pistons buy at the deadline coming up? So today we're going to jump in and do a Detroit Pistons rebuild where we become buyers at the deadline, try to improve this team as fast as possible, but do it in the correct way as well. We got to thread the needle, but it's really exciting to see the Pistons being good at basketball. So go ahead, jump in. It is Detroit Pistons rebuild in NBA 2K25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. So right now, currently, as I'm recording this, Detroit finds himself at 18-18 as a 7th seed in the East. How exciting is that? Obviously, the last time the Pistons made the playoffs, they had Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, and they got swept in embarrassing fashion by the Milwaukee Bucks. That team never had a chance, as we all know. But this team is fun so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this team to the trade deadline. Now, unfortunately, Jaden Ivey did get hurt. I don't know what the timetable is on him, but 2K has him as a fractured right leg. I thought it was like a broken fibula or something like that. So I assume he'll be out for quite some time. So I don't think I'll put him back in the lineup for this season. Maybe he returns towards the end of the season, but I can't remember if they said he was out for the season or not, to be honest with you. But regardless, he's hurt. So Detroit, it'll be interesting to kind of see if they maybe look at some options at the deadline and try to bring in some talent. We know they've been interested in Levine in the past and other things. So we're going to get to the deadline, scan around the league using team intel. We're going to see if there's a piece that makes sense for this Detroit team to bring them into Detroit to further build this roster going forward. But like I said, got to make sure it's done correctly. Can't just mortgage the future or anything like that. So we'll see what the options are when we get to that bridge. So we are at the trade deadline as we're 23-20 on the season right now, still in the play-in tournament. And I do have a little bit of an idea of the two guys. They're actually on the thumbnail. I actually made the thumbnail before I started recording this, but they're definitely the guys that we could look into because both teams are selling. So we have Brandon Ingram at 27 years old on an expiring contract, or you have Chicago's Zach LaVine in Chicago, obviously rebuilding. His contract's a little bit longer and he's a little bit obviously older. So which one makes more sense? Well, LaVine, they both come with different qualities. Ingram being younger, expiring contract, and obviously Zach LaVine, he shoots better, but Ingram's still a damn good player. So which one would we rather have is the ultimate question. Honestly, for me, I think Ingram sounds more intriguing just based off him. I guess he got extended, which is interesting. But obviously, as we all know, in real life, he is not extended at all. But 2K, they extended him, which is fine because I would have extended him in the offseason regardless. So we're going to ignore the fact that he got extended. Who cares? We're going to extend him regardless. It doesn't matter. If we trade for him, we're keeping him. So I think we're going to try for Brandon Ingram here. I don't know if we'll be able to get him, though. We'll see. So right now, he's averaging what? So 21 points on the season, 38% from three. Obviously, we go to Zach LaVine. He's probably doing similar stuff as well in Chicago. But one of these two guys could make a ton of sense. I obviously think Ingram will be, I think LaVine would be a little bit easier to trade for. But we're going to see if we can get one of the two on this Detroit team. So let's go ahead, get right into this idea. So we're going to have to use like Tim Hardaway's expiring contract, maybe Stewart's salary, maybe Tobias Harris's salaries in here. No matter what, it doesn't really matter. So let's start with Hardaway's expiring contract because that's obviously going to, help the teams further accept this. They don't have to, be dealt with money they have to deal with later on. So that's one expiring contract. Ingram will be in this trade. Let's start with Brandon Ingram to see if we can get him on this team. And then maybe like Tobias Harris, would they rather have Stewart? So much we need. So we need $51 million in here. So Stewart actually fits that perfectly. So Tim Hardaway and Isaiah Stewart for Brandon Ingram. And then I think if you trade, our first round pick is, locked up somewhere else right now. But I can get behind trading our own future first because I think we'll be good by then. So Ingram to Detroit for a 2028 unprotected with Stewart and Tim Hardaway. Would New Orleans just accept this? Is Brandon Ingram going to go for more than this? It remains to be seen, obviously. We're going to go ahead and offer this and see what they say. They don't agree to that. I can't get behind two first. That's a good second round pick we're offering you from Toronto. And they do agree. So just like that, 2 firsts and a second gets us Brandon Ingram on the Detroit team, which is super exciting. Now, it may not solve everything we're looking for, but I do believe it's a nice addition to pair with Cade Cunningham. So I like it. Ingram and Cade Cunningham leading the future here. We'll see how it all turns out. Continuing, we'll need to build the roster even further. Jaden Ivey, again, I don't know when he's supposed to return, but 2K already has him healthy. I'm going to assume he's out for the season. I could be totally wrong on that, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. I should research that, but whatever. Jaden Ivey, they put him in the lineup. If he's let's put an injury back on him. We'll put him back as out. I assume he'll be out for quite some time regardless. I can't remember the timetable on fibula injuries, but he'll be out for quite some time. So torn fibula, I think, is somewhere in here. But I'll see you guys at the end of the season. We may put Ivy back in depending on if he does have the ability to return this season. But for the most part, well, I guess I need to share the rotation. So we'll just put torn left hamstring for now and just give him like 50 days or something like that. So taking a look at it now, some Malik Beasley would be the starter, and here is the rest of the rotation. So Ingram should make us better. Hopefully that ends up being the case. Hopefully we can make the playoffs with him added to the team. If not, we're in the lottery. We get our pick back, I think, and we'll add more talent to the draft. But hopefully Ingram helps us out in making the plan and getting some valuable playoff experience. But so far, well, wins are starting to come. We'll see what happens. So it sounds like it's 3 to 4 months on Jaden Ivey. He might be able to return towards the end of the season, or I guess that may not be towards the... it probably is towards the end. But Shay's your MVP. Missy's Rookie of the Year. Russell's your 6th man. Wemby Defensive Player. Amon Thompson Most Improved. And Fox Clutch Player. Mizzou's your Coach of the Year. And Nathan Mack is your Executive. So here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third. You do have Cade Cunningham making it, which is great to see. Love that. Offense first team and all defensive second team. So I don't even know if we made the plan in the playoffs because I was looking up the Jaden Ivey thing, and we did make the plan. So I'm actually really excited about being in the play-in tournament because, you know, Detroit being there is exciting and fun. So Ivey, assuming he can maybe come back at this point, let's put him in. So let's put him in. So he'll be the starting shooting guard again. Ingram hits the bench, which is very interesting. I don't think we can get behind that. We didn't trade for someone who's making $30 million just for him to hit the bench. So let's simcast this Philadelphia game. And, well, Joel Embiid, Maxey, McCain, like Paul George, this probably won't be easy to win, but we do have the lead right now. Might go our way, and we are going to eliminate the Sixers, so that would be very problematic for Detroit, and Cade Cunningham didn't even have that good of a game. They lost when Jalen Duren was the leading scorer. That's embarrassing. But now we get Atlanta, so let's see if we can beat Atlanta to get in. So we're on the road in Atlanta going up against Trae Young and the Hawks, and this one may not go our way, as we will be bounced, so we will be in the lottery. I don't know what the protections are on our pick, honestly, but we'll have a late lottery pick. We should be able to still add a good player no matter what. So Boston, Dallas. Dallas goes on to win it all. Luka is your Finals MVP. So you got LeBron James, and here are the rest of your retirements. Let's get straight to the lottery, and let's see if we keep our pick. I'm not 100% sure. So we got, let's see, Timberwolves via Detroit. So that might be from the Knicks trade, I think, from the Cat. I think that pick was attached in the Cat trade, if not mistaken. So let's see if we keep it. I don't know if we do or not. So it does stay with us at number 9. That feels good. So we get our pick in this lottery. So we get to add a young player to this team even further. Portland, number 3. Utah, number 1, I think I saw. Now I forgot who's number 2. It was or Utah 2, and then Brooklyn, number 1, which Brooklyn needs that. So shout out to the Nets. All right, let's head to the draft night. Is there anything else we want to do? Is there any trade up scenario we can do? I don't know. I'm not saying we're gonna go for Cooper Flag or Ace Baylor or anything, but is there a team up there that would be interested in anything we have? Nah, I'll probably just stick at number 9 and we'll just draft to start things off. So let's just see if we can get at number 9, then we can kind of focus on the rest of the roster after that. So number 1, Cooper Flag to Brooklyn, makes sense. Number 2 is gonna be Dylan Harper. So Ace Bailey is gonna fall to Portland, looks like, and he does go. New Orleans is going to take VJ Edgecombe to replace potentially Brandon Ingram. Trey Johnson goes to Washington. Noah goes to Charlotte. Igor to Toronto. And then we will have Asa go to Chicago. But who do we want is the question. We do have Maluwatch still on the board. That might be the pick, honestly. So Jeremiah Fears, Boogie Flynn, Derek Queen. But we're going to come down here and take Maluwatch out of Duke. 74 overall. Hall of Fame ceiling, though, gives us a really good center behind Jalen Duren. I can get behind that. So that will be our pick in this draft. Ends up being a 74 overall, so maybe his draft stock has fallen because he used to be a lot better in this draft class. But I do appreciate that this guy continues to, update his draft classes, it looks like. So I can get behind that. But still, pretty happy with the pick. Player options, Jalen Duren. Still don't understand why 2K always wants Detroit just to move on from Jalen Duren immediately. It's like the one player that happens to. It used to be Fred VanVleet, I think. Or Fred VanVleet would regress for no reason, but Jalen Duren just Detroit just don't keep him. That's their suggestion every time. I don't know why, but here are your free agents, and now we can go to free agency. So we have Paul Reed as a free agent, and we'll see what else we can take care of. So we have Cade Sasser, Ivy Wendell Moore, Brandon Ingram, Asar Thompson, Tobias Harris, Ron Holland, and Maluwatch and Jalen Duren. So to me, The only position that I'd prefer to upgrade is obviously the power forward spot. And we do need someone who can shoot the hell out of the ball there, in my opinion. That'd probably be the best thing for this team. So let's see if we can accomplish that. So we're going to be buyers even further. We want to make the playoffs next year. We made the play-in, got eliminated. So that was at least exciting. Don't think we have cap space, obviously to sign anybody. So we're going to see if there's a forward out there who can shoot the lights out of the ball. Immediately, Michael Porter Jr. comes to mind, but I've gotten him in so many videos. I just can't get him again. So we'll see if there's any other option, but that's kind of what we're looking for here. Hopefully, if we can acquire that, that would be amazing. And I have my target. It's going to be Cameron Johnson. I think Cameron Johnson would be a great fit here in Detroit with what we have currently. Now, the one thing that sucks with Cameron Johnson is he's not a great 2K player, it feels like, but I still love the fit of him, so I'm going to make it happen, hopefully, here. Now, we'll probably have to trade a first to make it happen because Cameron Johnson would be that valuable, I think, but I can get behind that. So, Tobias Harris, we traded one first already for Ingram, obviously. So, if we trade another one, we're definitely going all in with this team, but this gives, this definitely gives us the ability to be hopefully really good next year, which is what we're wanting. So we trade Tobias Harris. We can trade maybe Bobby here as well. And let's say we do our 2027 unprotected. So we're basically gambling on making the playoffs. And I can do that. I can live with that. So we're going to offer this. They don't agree to it right away, which is interesting. What about a second? And that changes the whole dynamic. So now we have Cameron Johnson as our brand new power forward, which will move him there. So we'll have Ingram and Cameron Johnson as our forwards. We'll have Jalen Duren, Maluwatch, Ron Holland's going to get involved. Marcus Sasser, Wendell Moore, Ivy will be healthy. So I can be pretty happy with what we're seeing. So let's go to player progression because we're not going to be able to sign anybody else in free agency. Let's see what we got going on here. So you got a couple of guys back, but you have Cameron Johnson sitting at 83, Asar 81, 80 Sasser, 78 Ron Holland, and 77 Wendell Moore. Ivy's up to an 83. He'll be extended here soon, but Cade's up to a 92. Ingram stays in 86 and Duren up to an 83. All right. Well, this should be a fun season regardless of what happens. We just made the plan. Obviously, the next step is making the playoffs. Detroit usually ends up being pretty good in the 2K sim. I don't think I have to worry about it too much, but I guess we'll find out the hard way or the good way, or you know what I mean. We'll find out. So here's a rotation for this upcoming season. In year 2, it's going to be Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. They want to start Asar Thompson, which I completely understand, but I prefer his energy off the bench, I think. We can't have Ingram making as much money as he is coming off the bench. I just can't get behind that idea, unfortunately. So maybe our proficiency. Okay, so it's listed at defense. That's why it's like that. I was about to say. So let's go to balance instead. And let's move JB Bickerstaff to balance because I can't get behind Ingram coming off the bench making $36 million. That just, it's just too crazy to me. So that should fix that, I think. So there you go. So Cade, Ivy, Ingram, Cameron Johnson, Duren. You have Asar, Marcus Sasser, Ron Holland, Wendell Moore, and Maluwatch. So both our defensive forwards are on the bench with Ron Holland and Asar Thompson, but they're going to have to continue to develop in their space. Their shooting isn't great either, which is why we'll have Cameron Johnson in the starting lineup. Should help out a ton there. But yeah, I'm excited. I think this team should make the playoffs this year, hopefully anyway. Shot tendencies. K is going to shoot a lot, obviously. Ingram's going to do his thing. Jalen Duren's is good, and then Cameron Johnson's is fine too. So yeah, I can work with what it's looking like right now. So I'll see you guys at the end of year 2, where hopefully we make the playoffs this year. Been building towards that at this point. So far, so good to start the season. Hopefully we can continue that and be a locked and loaded playoff team. At the end of year 2, Luka wins MVP, Flag is your Rookie of the Year in Brooklyn, Bobby Porter's 6-man Wemby Defensive Player, Scoot's Most Improved, and Booker's your Clutch Player, and Jason Kidd's your Coach of the Year and Executive goes to Jordan Hobson. So you have Luka Doncic, Jokic, Wemby, Edwards, Anthony Davis. Do we get Cade here again? We do not. But I assume there was maybe spread out scoring a little bit further. Hopefully that's the case anyway. Does Maluwatch make an all-rookie team? He does. So up to a 75 overall, which is nice to see. But guys, we have made the playoffs. And not only did we make the playoffs, we were a top 3 seed in the East, which feels really good to have accomplished that feature. So let's take a look at the player stats to see how it all turned out. So you had 22 from Cade, 18 from Ingram, 14 from Sasser, 13 from Jalen Duren, 13 from Ivy, and then 10.5 from Cameron Johnson, 9 from Asar, 6 from Ron Holland, and then 5 from Maluwatch. Well, we get Milwaukee in round 1. This could be our chance to get sweet revenge because, like I said at the beginning of the video, remember, last time Detroit made the playoffs, they played the Bucks. They got destroyed. So let's return the favor, hopefully. So we get to deal with Dame, Giannis, Middleton, Bagley. It's like the same Bucks team we all know. We have Exum now. Bagley's there, but somebody Kurt Round. And just kidding, we may not be able to beat them like I thought. We're going to get eliminated 5. So third seed was cool, but it doesn't work out. We lose to the Bucks again. So Milwaukee continues to own us, at least up to this point. It'll change. Mavericks, Celtics again, and Dallas wins it. Luka Doncic, I don't remember if they won it last year. I'm pretty sure they did. But yeah, Luka and the Mavericks, man, like they're just the dominant team in 2K. We do not have our pick. We've obviously traded our picks away in order to be aggressive for Ingram and also Cameron Johnson. So Minnesota has that pick. JB Bickerstaff, do we fire him after that? I think we do. I think if we get a new head coach in the building, we'd be a lot better. So Bickerstaff, I love what you've done for us, and you're probably more of a scapegoat than someone who deserves to be fired. But Mazzulla and JJ Redick are just sitting here with better badges and just better grades. So I don't think I can not try. Like, which one do we want is the question. We want Mazzulla or JJ Redick? I'll go Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla will be our addition at head coach. Now we have draft night. So draft night, we have nothing. So we don't even worry about the draft. Player options, we have Asar, Sasser, and Ron Holland, which we'll accept all those. But we know we have Ivy, Wendell Moore, Jalen Duren, all as free agents. So the odds of us being able to do much of anything this offseason other than re-sign our own are going to be slim, unfortunately. So they're all restricted. So I will take this to the last day of free agency, even if I have to click renounce rights off every single 2K. Can you just make it to where permanently you can be like, hey, dude, I don't want to renounce these guys. Can you stop asking me to? That would be beautiful. That's just a suggestion, in my opinion. I think you might want to do that, 2K, if you ever thought about it. I will renounce Simone, though, but we're not renouncing Ivy and Duren. So you got that wish. But again, we're not going to renounce these guys. They get offer sheets, we'll sign them. But what I'm doing right now is taking this to the last day of free agency. I think most of you probably know by now, the further you take this, the cheaper they get. So that's what we're doing right now. So let's keep doing it. I have no shame in doing this so far. We're almost to the last day of free agency. We'll get there eventually, and we will be here. So finally, we can make them offers. Okay, so Wendell Moore, a little bit more than I'd want to spend, but, you know, we'll go ahead and do it. So now Jalen Duren still wants quite a bit of money, but let's see how. Okay, so we're going to go 30 flat, maybe. Does he accept that? He looks like he will. So 90% interest in that one. Ivy will be a little bit cheaper, thankfully. So 5-year deal, say 23.5. Would he accept that? I think that will work. So we'll get all three of them to sign. Got those guys back, and those two come back to qualifying offer as well. And I'll have Kate up to a 94, Ivy up to an 86. That's exciting. 85 Duren, 83 Asar, and then Malou Watch is up to an 80 already, which is good too. Ron Holland 81. Now I do wonder, which we can't move Ron Holland to small forward. I'm about to say, if we move him to small forward, I wonder if he would go up, which he probably does. He does go up to an 83. So it does make you wonder if at the deadline, if there's something that makes sense, like we could throw Ivy and one of the fours together to get an upgrade at the shooting guard spot. We might look into it because this team getting closer and closer to being a contender already. And, you know, as crazy as that is to say, it's the reality. Detroit is a pretty good 2K sim team. We were the third seed last year. Yes, we got eliminated in round 1. We have a brand new head coach to make up for that. And only 3.5 balance, though, which I'm a little disappointed by. We could be a 4-star, 7 seconds. So I guess 7 seconds it is. But what we're going to do is simulate the season as usual. And if there is a trade to be made at the deadline to upgrade this team, I think we do it. So we'll be a 10-man rotation. Cade, Ivy, Ingram, Cameron Johnson, Duren, Asar, Sasser, Ron Holland, Malou Watch, and Wendell Moore. All looks good to me. Have plenty of salary to throw together to make a trade the deadline if we see fit. Something that fits with us, but we'll see if there's anything available to us to make that happen. But we'll cross that bridge when we reach there, just like we did in the beginning. Another MVP award for this guy, Luka Doncic. It seems like he's always winning them. No surprise, obviously. We're kind of used to it at this point. Does Cade make an All-NBA team? He does. He's back an All-NBA team. Only got an All-NBA third team so far in this video. I decided against making a trade because the team was still pretty good. We're the 4th seed in the East. We lost round 1 last year, so obviously at this point, I'm hoping to improve on that and finally get out of round 1 and go further in the playoffs. So we have a new head coach, so hopefully that changes things. We get Brooklyn in round 1, who drafted Cooper Flagg earlier, so that's going to be tough. But they have Cameron Thomas, Flagg, Claxton. They also got Traore somehow, Bol, Brogdon, Noah Clowney. So it's a good team, but I do think we're better. I mean, we should be anyway. But here goes nothing. Game 1 goes to us. Beat them by 3. Game 2, 2-0, beat them pretty good there. And now we're up 3-0. And are we going to sweep them? We are. So just like that, we get out of round 1. First year without JB Bickerstaff. We got Toronto and Cleveland going at it. And they're going to be in a tied series. And now Cleveland gets the lead. And we will be dealing with Cleveland, it looks like. Yeah, so Cleveland is going to be our round 2 matchup. So first seed versus 4th seed. They have Garland, Mitchell, Tyson, Mobley, Allen Robinson, Okoro, Clark, and AJ Griffin. So didn't AJ Griffin retire from basketball? Very interesting. I don't know if I've seen him in a while in 2K, weirdly enough. But hey, he's here. Shooting 25% from 3 though in the playoffs so far. But here we go. Here goes nothing. Game 1, we win 1-0. Good start. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4, we need to tie it, and we do. Okay. Now we go to a game 5 where the series is tied. Want to give less minutes to Ivy. That's fine. And we'll see if we can win game 5 on the road in Cleveland to take an advantage in this one. Gonna be a close one, it looks like, as they take the lead back. Can we get it back at the end? We cannot. So we'll go down 3-2, and we'll have to see if we can get back in this by winning a game 6. It's gonna be tough, but okay, we took the lead. Can we keep it though? And we don't. We're gonna lose by 3 points in the second round. But that is a step in the correct direction, which is good. Cleveland went on to win it all. I think, to me, we need an upgrade somewhere, and that's either going to be Ivy or Ingram going bye-bye. Utah gets 1 and 3, so they're about to be really good. But yeah, I think we got to make one last all-in trade, and we'll be a contender. If we can get Cade another 20-point-per-game scorer, I think the sky would be the limit, if I had to guess. So that's kind of where I'm about to take this. So Ingram or Blake Griffin, or sorry, not Blake Griffin, Brandon Ingram are probably about to head out the door, and we'll see which one gets us the better compensation. Now, normally I wouldn't do this in real life. I don't think I'd ever do this, but Hero is a damn good 2K sim player, and there's just no getting around that. So I am going to make this happen, I think. I'm going to trade Ivy. We have to have Wendell Moore's contract to match Hero as well, but I can get behind this. So these two for Hero straight up, they say no. Obviously, I'm not willing to throw in more than, so let's just say we throw in a bunch of seconds. And they don't agree. So, oops, that was removing a trade item. What about now? I don't want to throw a first in here, but we're all in right now, so let's just do it. I want Hero, and what that will do is we move Hero to shooting guard, and he goes up to an 89 overall. But he is a beast in 2K, so we get Tyler Hero on this team, and he's a little bit of a better shooter, obviously, than Jaden Ivey. So that's a +2. The spacing will be really good still. So now, I think we could low-key move Ron Holland to small forward like I wanted to. We'll move Ron Holland to small forward. He'll go up there, 84. Sar would go down 1 overall shooting guard, but I can live with that. So I'll be the backup 2. Hero starting there, Ron Holland, and then we just need a power forward who can just be serviceable. And that was kind of our last all-in move. So Kobe Brown will be the guy we go for. So that is it. Now, that was our last move. If this doesn't work, then we, sold. Like, this is kind of what our last move was. So Tyler Hero, 89, 87 Ingram, 87, 85, 84, 84, 83. So all of this looks good enough to me. Lou Watch only up to an 82, but still not a bad backup center to have. So get into this final season here, and we'll see if the Hero trade is the move of all moves to put us over the top. We'll find out. So Wemby wins MVP, Stokes is Rookie of the Year, Giddey's your 6th man, Wemby Defensive Player, and Peterson Most Improved, and Booker is your Clutch Player. So Cade Cunningham probably, no, he's still All-NBA third team. So can't get over that All-NBA third team hump, but hey, All-NBA third team is still great. Second seed in the East for us, 25 from Cade, 17 from Ingram, 69 from Hero, 15 from Duran, and 15 from Sasser. So to me, this is our best chance at getting a championship. So if it doesn't happen here, it probably isn't going to happen at all. We got Brooklyn in round 1, who we did beat last year pretty easily, but it is flag once again, so you never really know. But we will beat them in 5. And now we don't have to deal with Cleveland in round 2. It's in Indiana instead, which sometimes they do give us problems. And here comes the problems already. All right, well, that was a tragic way to end the video, but ultimately that is how the video will end. So Detroit now winning a championship with them is quite unfortunate. But we would have lost the Mavericks in the finals probably anyway. So whatever, we avoided heartbreak before, the finals, I guess. I don't know. But I'm going to end it on that note, guys. They had Giddey in Dallas, too. That's okay. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Detroit, it's going to be a very fun team to watch this coming deadline. This is Crushables. I'm saying Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.